When a crisis hits, some people move through the pressure like they're carved out of stone. Others fracture almost immediately. That difference comes down to an engineered state known in psychology as cognitive fortitude. It is a structure you build, not a genetic trait you inherit. Yet, the modern default is to unconsciously pursue the path of least resistance. We seek instant comfort, and in doing so, we steadily dismantle our own mental resilience. This happens through specific daily habits that drain valuable neural energy. Complaining about circumstances, optimizing our routines for absolute physical ease, and rationalizing delays by pretending we will tackle hard things tomorrow. Running from discomfort creates an illusion of safety. In reality, it guarantees that when life inevitably becomes heavy, you will lack the structural strength to carry the weight. Building true resilience requires looking at hardship as a mandatory training ground, rather than a destructive obstacle. This aligns perfectly with the biological principle of anti-fragility. Look at this diagram of bone tissue. In an environment with zero stress, it undergoes atrophy, weakening over time. But when it encounters calculated resistance, it initiates remodeling. Physical pressure forces the bone to multiply its cellular structure, becoming significantly denser. Your mental architecture operates the same way. The boundaries you perceive as your psychological limits are often just areas of your mind that have not yet been exposed to calculated stress. Marcus Aurelius is widely remembered as an introspective philosopher. He was actually the emperor of Rome, managing global chaos at the empire's apex. He was responsible for maintaining massive imperial infrastructure while dealing with devastating plagues and deep political betrayals from his closest allies. He also managed relentless military pressure and constant warfare expanding across the empire's borders. To survive this environment without breaking, he utilized a daily psychological tool known as premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Every morning, he wrote in his private journal, intentionally forcing his mind to confront and accept his worst fears before they could actually materialize. He proved that ultimate psychological strength is achieved by preparing for chaos internally. You become the immovable object before the storm arrives. Philosophy is a starting point, but you have to anchor these ideas into your physiology through daily physical application. You do this by constructing daily micro-trials. Stepping into a freezing shower or forcing your body through intense physical training serves a specific purpose. You intentionally shock your nervous system. Once your physical vessel learns to endure discomfort, emotional regulation follows. Mentally elite individuals do not suppress their emotions. They simply decouple what they feel from what they do. When an external trigger hits, you need a tactical tool to create a gap before your internal response. This is where the box breathing method is employed. Watch this animated geometric mandala trace the first half of the protocol. You begin with a precise 4-second inhale, immediately followed by a 4-second hold. You then release a slow 4-second exhale. This physical reset creates the necessary pause, completing the psychological decoupling. Mastering this specific physiological response strips overwhelming emotions of their power to command your actions. They are reduced to temporary data points. External events are entirely uncontrollable, but your internal response remains your absolute sovereign territory. Pain will happen. Prolonged suffering is a choice. Relying on motivation is a mistake. It is a spark that burns out quickly. Discipline is the permanent engine required to run this machinery. You stand at a clear crossroads. You can passively slide back into comfortable mediocrity, or you can take the blueprint in your hands and actively choose to build an unshakable legacy.